once again, it's time to talk African football and, of course, look at the exploits of African players for their respective teams in Europe in the past weekend. I remain Ashalulu Afemi, and I'm not flying solo. I've got company. James Agberebi is here, and we'll be doing this together once again. James, you're welcome to the show.
Yeah, thank you, Femi. It's always a pleasure talking football on Nigeria Super Fans.
Okay, all right. Of course, it is Nigeria Super Fans Forum, where we look at everything football on the continent of Africa. Where else to start from other than maybe some good news coming from Turkey regarding Christian Atsu. Of course, our rescue effort is still ongoing at Hati. That is where the town where he resides, of course, particularly at that building, that 11-story building. And we've been told that he lives on the ninth floor. And according to reports, latest report coming from that part of the world, machines working on the site have been stopped, and miners have gone into the rubble because the thermal camera have indicated that there seems to be life in the building. So we are hoping, we are praying that we're going to get some good news. Of course, we're still hearing, also we're still learning that people are still being pulled out of the rubble alive in Syria and Turkey. So we are praying that Christian Atsu, of course, we would hear very, very positive news regarding the whole continent. We are all on our knees with our hands lifted to God for prayer. James, this is some form of cheering news, and we are only hoping that we will get something very positive about Atsu very soon.
Yeah, Femi. At this point now, any little word of encouragement will be appreciated at this point in time. Just like what you said, we learned, and there are some people who were brought out alive despite spending close to like 5 days, under the rubble.
More than a week.
Yeah, imagine more than a week, and they were still brought out alive, So that's what we are hoping for now for Christian Atsu. We know that God, in His infinite mercy, we know that He will do it for Atsu. I mean, it's been it has not been easy, Imagine somebody under the rubble for how many days without water, no food, So that was what we are praying for now, that at the end of the day, we'll be among those who will be brought out alive. We still believe in miracles, and I don't know. We just have to keep our fingers crossed and continue praying, because that's what is left now, because we can't do anything on our own again. The cherry news, just like what you said, sometimes you might want to call it cherry news, but like I said, whatever word of encouragement we get now, we'll just have to appreciate it. People have been coming out alive, so hopefully Christian Atsu too will be among those who will be brought out alive, and so that he will return to his family.
Okay, so I say a big amen to that. So according to a report, at least from someone, Salim Manav, posted on Twitter, referring to a message posted by a particular person called Timuchin Ashigil, who is the brother-in-law of one of the Atsu Sports officials. Remember, Atsu plays for Atsu Sports. So one of the officials lives in the same building with Atsu that crumbled. So the brother-in-law is saying that the Renaissance site was looked at with a thermal camera from 3 different locations, and they got 3 sounds, meaning that they're still live under the rubble. And we heard the miners have entered. Let's support urgently. So that is a tweet coming from that part of the world. So it is the latest regarding us. So we are praying that maybe before the end of the day, today is Tuesday, of course, we'll get some report regarding that. We also heard that Atsu's brother, Samuel Twasam, has also gone to Turkey in order to, at least at the site, in order to at least be there and see what's happening to his brother. So we are hoping, in solidarity with Ghana, that at this time, Christian Atsu will return back to us safe and alive. James, let's still staying with Ghana. Remember that finally we now know that Chris Hughton is the replacement for Otto Addo. But James, not even longer than he had been appointed, there has been some question regarding his appointment. And this one is coming from Sam George, a parliament member in Ghana, who is from Eningo Pram Pram. And he's already asking that why Chris Hughton, James? I remember even before Chris Hughton was up, even before the official appointment, he was asking the same question and alleging that Hughton will come into the fray because the GFA feels that it would be very easy to manipulate him. But again, he's raising the same question. He said, is it that Chris Hughton is the most capable hand, or is it just that the GFA would be able to easily manipulate him?
Femi, I don't even understand what people really want. I've been saying this that if I was to pick among the three shortlisted names, it would be Chris Hughton, and it's as if the GFA were listening to what I was suggesting. I mean, it's so glaring.
But James, sorry, that was what we heard. But
yeah.
What if it wasn't true actually? What if there were candidates who were even better than Chris Hughton on that list? You know, it was just report that we had the likes of Etokupo and, of course, Manchester United assistant manager alongside Chris Hughton as the final three shortlist. But what if there were other candidates who were even on the list that we do not know? Because what we heard earlier was just a mere report.
Femi, no matter who they appoint, people will still complain. I mean, I want to believe that you understand what I'm saying. No matter who is brought in, even if you bring Guardiola, people will still complain right there in Ghana that there are other better candidates. So I don't think now the team needs all that complaints and because my own defense about Hughton is he has been with the team. He was part of the team during the qualifiers, during their friendly games, and at the World Cup. So this is somebody who knows the team, who has been around there, who knows the players. He has the experience. He's a former Premier League manager. So you bring his wealth of experience into the team. The players are there now. They are doing well in Europe and other parts of the world where they are playing. So you need an experienced, tactical, sound coach. Fine, may not be the world-class coach like in the mode of the Guardiola, Mourinho, so but at least he's somebody that has what it takes. He has seen it all. So what it needs now is support from everybody. There are qualifiers coming up next month. So I mean, the GF just have to get this done with, and that's what they've just done. So the most important thing now is to support the coach, so that you're able to produce quality players who prosecute these qualifiers and qualify Ghana for the for the AFCON. It's not time to start criticizing, start saying why didn't this person was appointed? Why was Chris Hughton appointed? Chris Hughton was appointed because he has been part of the team. He knows the players. He knows the team. Like I said, I believe that was one of the criteria that the GFA looked at. So whoever is coming out to complain, I mean, you don't need that now in the team. So that's just it for me, Femi.
Okay, James, are you pleased that, of course, the GFA also retained George Boateng and Didi Dramani as assistant coaches? Are you also pleased with that? Certainly, I know you will have to.
Yeah, these are people who are, sometimes when you appoint a new coach, the backroom staff, sometimes it only causes issues because some coaches want to come with their own backroom staff,
Yeah,
and
that's why I actually have not.
Yeah, so these are people who have been part of the team. Like I said, this continuity thing is very, very important. You need people who are around who know the players, who understand everything. It's not that we are bringing fresh hands who now have to try to adapt, start to try and get to know the players. I mean, so these are guys who went to the World Cup, who saw everything. So it won't make sense to now say, okay, we want to now bring fresh hands to run things, So you just go. For me, I believe it's something that's going to go smooth for the players and the new technical crew on hand. So, like I said, the team don't need any distraction again. I mean, the most important thing is they needed a coach, and the GFA have done that. So the next focus now is to be how to focus on the qualifiers coming up next month. That's the major thing now because the Black Stars can't afford not to qualify for the AFCON. Especially after qualifying for the World Cup, qualifying for CHAN, and now the AFCON, Africa's own World Cup, and they've not qualified. They have a big game coming up, so they need all the concentration. GFA have done their part, so it's now left for the coaching crew and the players to now do their own part.
Okay, but James, we know that Chris Hughton is vastly experienced, particularly club level, managing clubs in the Premier League. He's been with Newcastle, Birmingham City. He's been with a number of them, as well as even Brighton. But James, talking about quality, if you have someone like Javi Reina, for instance, and Chris Hughton, who would have been your choice?
Well, based on if you want to look at
right?
immediate,
right?
no, if you look at the immediate past well, I say achievement. Look at Aberena. They took Saudi Arabia to the World Cup and they crashed out in the first round. That's why the fact that they defeated Argentina, but they crashed out in the first round. So if you want to judge him by that, you now say he's better than
but they made
Chris Hughton. You know,
but
so fine.
they
no, fine.
Biggest headline after Morocco. Saudi Arabia made the biggest headline in the tournament after Morocco.
They crashed out in the first round. So so for me, Averena fine is somebody that's very experienced when it comes to coaching in Africa. But I don't think it's that you say okay because maybe it's one world-class coach that is far better than Chris Hughton. Remember Averena, after his exploit with I think Zambia, he went to the French league and he couldn't do anything. You know. So
but have you forgotten that after winning the AFCON with Zambia in 2013, he also won it with Ivory Coast?
And that's what I'm telling you, that after his exploit in Africa, he went to the French league. He couldn't do anything. He had to run back to Africa. So when you're trying to say
Hughton has also not achieved anything with any of the clubs he's coached in the Premier League.
So which means you can't say Averena is a world-class coach more than compared to
at least at the African level.
So let's just put them at the same at par. You know, it's not as if what is it called? Averena is one super coach that when it comes to the Black Stars, he will just win everything. He has the experience in Africa.
At national team level, if you are to put their resume together, if you are looking for a national team coach, I think you go for Averena.
Femi, sometimes these things are not casted in stone. I'm fine, you want to go for Averena, but like they say, your last result, what was it like? That's what you still have to look at, you know. So for me, Chris Hughton has been part of the team, so they just allow him to work, to give him support. Fine, Averena is one of the best coach around in Africa. He has done well. We all know that. But at this point, the GFA, they've done it well enough. They've played their own part. They've appointed a new coach. So what the coach and the team need now is total support from everybody. So that's just it.
But James, really, I understand your sentiment, but I still believe that if you're looking for a national team coach at this time, and you put Averena and Chris Hughton beside one another, I think a lot of people, including myself, I think I will go for Averena.
But Femi, Averena, we didn't hear whether Averena was part of the candidates for the job. I believe if he had been part of the candidates, his name would have been mentioned. But at this point, his name was not mentioned. So Chris Hughton got the job, and I think the team just have to move on from there.
Yeah, why I said so is we didn't know how many coaches who didn't apply and the GFA wanted, and they got in contact with. Do you know it's different thing? You can have applicants. Yeah, and there are certain candidates that you feel can do the job, and you can just tell them, "Do not apply for this job." I think that's what I'm looking at. I think Arena is, I'm sure is attached to another country now, but I felt that before then, if the GFA had wanted him, since Otto Addo had pre-informed them even before the World Cup that was going to step down after the tournament, I think they could have just even right there at the World Cup and say, if you are open, we have a space for you in Ghana, because I feel Arena will have done a great job with the crop of players that we have in the Black Stars today. And I'm sure you agree to that sentiment as well.
Femi, sometimes this thing doesn't work out like that. You might bring the best coach, at the end of the day, you will not achieve anything. You know, so sometimes continuity is very key. You know, because by the time you bring in a new coach, you just have to now come in with his own ideas, new tactics, new formation, and at the end of the day, you now find out that some of the players they will not be able to work out how to go about with this new tactics and whatever formation the new coach will want to bring in. But when you have a Chris Hughton who understands the players, who knows, it's not like he's not a stranger. You know, that's why I said him being part of the team is, I believe, is one of the key reasons why the GFA decided to go for him. You know, I've been saying this a long time, even before they made it official that he's the new coach. That I want him to. He's not as if because he's a super coach, but somebody who has been part of the team, who was with them, the qualifiers. I mean, what else do you want to tell him about the team that he doesn't know? So they should just allow him to do his work. So the team doesn't need any distractions now. So it's important that Ghana qualify for the next AFCON. You know, we keep saying it. The last time they won the AFCON was in 1982. That was 41 years ago. So, I mean, for a big country like Ghana, who dominated African football in the 60s, they played in 4 consecutive AFCON final: 1963, 1965, 1968, and 1970. You know, so for a team like that, and they've not won the AFCON since 1982, I mean, it doesn't speak well at all for a big team like Ghana. So that's just it for me.
So, James, are you insinuating that Chris Hughton will win the 2023 AFCON for Ghana?
The players are there. As long as he has the right tactics and the right formation and everything, no distraction, no money issue. Who says the Black Stars cannot win the AFCON? Every tournament, every AFCON, as long as they qualify, they always be one of the favorites. So they've not won it for a very long time. Doesn't mean they are not always one of the favorites. At least they played in 2010 and 2015 AFCON. Unfortunately, they were not lucky to win it. So as long as they keep qualifying, they'll always be one of the top favorites to win it.
I think I would agree with you with the fact that the Black Stars have the talent to win the AFCON, but the quality of the manager, I think I'm still in doubt regarding that. James, I'm still talking about Chris Hughton's appointment. John Paintil, former Black Stars player, is saying that GFA should appoint Kwesi Appiah as Chris Hughton's appointment, saying that it will further help him on the job. Do you agree with that, James?
No, I don't agree. Kwesi Appiah is somebody who qualified the Black Stars for the World Cup. So for me, Appiah will not see Hughton as a better coach than him. So for you to now appoint him as an assistant, somebody who has handled this team before, who qualified them. How many indigenous coach can come out and beat their chest that they qualified their country for a major tournament like the World Cup? Kwesi Appiah did it. So for you to now suggest that you now become an assistant to Chris Hughton,
James, at this point, is it about your pedigree or the interest of the national team? Because we saw Chris Hughton going to the World Cup as more like an assistant to Otto Addo, and there was no issue about that. So I do not think that Kwesi Appiah would see working as an assistant to Chris Hughton as a big issue. I do not think he should see it if the GFA actually approaches him.
I mean, that's what you think, but you don't know what's going on in the head of Kwesi Appiah. I believe Appiah will also want to handle the team. For you to now give him an assistant role, I mean, there's a point you get to in life that you don't see yourself, as if some position would be like a step down. If Appiah doesn't get the coaching job, as the head coach, I mean, the other, maybe you can come in as maybe a technical director or something, but to now make him assistant. No, it's for me, for his achievement. Fine, he didn't win the AFCON, but for a coach to have qualified Ghana for the World Cup and almost defeated. You know, he didn't lose to Germany. Yeah. So for me, Painsty, I don't know. He played under Appiah. So he knows him in and out. But in this instance, I don't think it would be a good idea to draft Kwesi Appiah as an assistant to Chris Hughton, because right now you don't even want division. Remember, I think there's a history between Appiah and the Ayew brothers, if I'm not mistaken. So if you now bring in somebody like that, and you might want to cause division, So I think it's better they just leave the coaching crew, the new coaching crew like that. Whoever Hughton feels we want to add to the coaching crew, well and good for him. But to now bring Kwesi Appiah, no. And I think they're going to cause a lot of problem for the team, and they don't need that right now.
I think for a lot of Ghanaians, they wouldn't mind if any assistant coach worked with Chris Hughton, so long it is not a Samoa girl. Because a lot of them said they didn't even want to see him around the national team during the 2022 FIFA World Cup. James, let's go to the women's 2023 Women's World Cup now. Remember that it will be taking place in Australia and New Zealand, and there are 3 slots left to be battled for, and we have Senegal and Cameroon who will be taking part in an intercontinental playoff that will be starting this Friday. James, 10 teams fighting for three slots. Do you think Senegal and Cameroon stand any chance?
Well, because they will be playing against other teams from other federations. And Cameroon, this is not the first time they will be targeting a World Cup qualification. They were at the last World Cup, and I think they got to the round of 16. So I think
Sorry,
that
James. Sorry, James. Maybe James. Sorry to interject quickly. Maybe I should read out the groups because we have, like I said, we have 10 teams who will be
yeah.
fighting for the last three slots. And in Group A, we have Portugal, who is top seed. We have Cameroon and we have Thailand. And in Group B, we have Chile, who is also top seed. We have Senegal and Haiti. Then Group C, we have Chinese Taipei, we have Papua New Guinea, we have Paraguay and Panama. So Senegal and Cameroon. Group A, we have Cameroon, then Senegal in Group B. We have Senegal in Group B. So they will have to fight for three slots. James, I don't know, but we saw Cameroon at the 2022 African Women's Championship, right, in Morocco.
Yes. Mm. Well,
Yeah.
like I said, Femi,
But do you think any of the African countries stand any chance?
well, like I said, Cameroon is they've been to the World Cup before, and they got out from the group stage, so they have experience. And I think for this playoff, it's the top teams that qualify from the group to qualify for the World Cup. So I think whoever tops the group qualify automatically for the World Cup.
Yeah.
Well,
One, two,
I
three.
want to
Just
believe
like
I want to give them a chance. Everybody, it's a open, it's a level playing field for everybody. So it's the team that come up with the right strategy, right formation, right tactics that will come out top. And like I said, Cameroon has the indomitable lionesses. They have the experience. They've been to the World Cup before, like I said. For Senegal, I think this is a new route for them to qualify for the World Cup. So I don't know how they're going to manage it, but you can't rule out. Like I said, it's a level playing field for everybody. I just hope that they will be able to come out tops in their group so that you had to the already qualified team, this Super Falcons, Zambia, Morocco, and South Africa were already in the World Cup. You want to see more African teams, playing at the World Cup, and we should take the number to 6. So let's just hope that they'll be able to do well and give Africa more representative at the World Cup. So I'm confident in them that they can do it. Well, if you want to look at a team like Portugal, these are teams that find they are not one of the superpowers in world football, but I believe the Super Falcons have played against them before in the friendly game, and they ended 3-3. So I believe the African, I think it's Senegal that will play against them or Cameroon. So I believe if they bring their A game, they'll be able to take out Portugal. I think that they will be the major threat for them in that group. Or if they can just try and avoid a defeat against them so that they don't go into the next game, trying to force a win, So and let's just hope that they will be able to come through in these qualifiers. Thank God that the Super Falcons they qualified automatically because playing in this playoff, I mean, sometimes if you don't get it right, I mean, you just find yourself out totally from the World Cup.
All right, James. Recently, something interesting happened when the Canadian women's national team went on strike. Because of the protest for equal pay and, of course, more funding for the women national team compared to how much money the country spent on the men's team. But the good thing is they've been forced to force or compel whichever way to come out of that strike by the government. Maybe you could say the Canadian Football Association. And of course, the women now, they are now back into training. So they will be, remember that they will play in the same group with the Super Falcons of Nigeria, of course, for the 2023 African Women, the African Women FIFA Women World Cup that will be taking place in Australia and New Zealand. James, it is a rarity to see maybe Europeans or even women football teams in South America, going on strike. Though it is for something that they've seen in the United States because the United States FA they've now signed the equal pay for both men and women football. I think the Canadian women they are also trying to achieve that. They went on strike and now they are back into training after the government threatened them, so to say.
For me, I was surprised when I heard about the team planning to go on strike, and we now later heard that maybe a soft threat from the Canadian football body. So they now have to rescind, they now rescinded that decision, and they will be going for an invitational tournament. So I mean, this talk about equal pay, and I don't know, it's becoming rampant now. The other time it was the United States. Now the Canadian team. I remember the Canadian team. They are the reigning Olympic for champion for women's team. So I don't know how to say this is good news for the Super Falcons because they will be
At
playing.
all, it's not. It is not.
They will be playing against. Sometimes if you go into a major tournament, you are not in the right frame of mind. No matter how good or how talented our squad is, I mean, it's going to affect the team no matter what. If outside the pitch issues are not taken care of, you also what happened to Ghana in 2014 World Cup.
14 World Cup.
Talented squad like that, and you all remember what happened, financial issues. So once you don't take care of all these things, that it will affect the player because they will not go into games in the right frame of mind. And they plan to go on strike. Then somebody came up. They now say, okay, they are holding they're halting the strike and they have an invitational tournament. But are they going to this tournament in the right frame of mind? Will they put their
So
hand?
James, are you praying for more? Are you praying for more crisis in the Canadian Women's National Team? Are you praying for more crisis?
No. See, the thing is, if you are good, you are good. No matter what's happening in your opponent's camp, if you are good, you want to be the best. You have to play against the best. You have to beat the best. Canada are the reigning champions because they played against the best and they became champion. The United States, the German team, they've been doing well because they've been playing against the best teams and they've been proving themselves. So for the Super Falcons, just for them to focus on their own tournament, their own preparations. They have a foundation tournament in Mexico coming up. It starts on Wednesday tomorrow, and for Canadians too, they have their own invitational tournament. So the Falcons have played against them before in the two-legged friendly game. They lost the first one and they drew the second one. The Falcons almost won the second one, but unfortunately they considered a late goal. So for me, for the Canadian team, I just hope that they will put their house in order and but we want the Super Falcons to play against the best team and beat these big teams. As if they can't do it before. The last time they qualified for quarterfinal was way back in 1999. They got to the round of 16, the last World Cup. But I mean, for Super Falcons, who pride themselves, one of the teams who have never missed the World Cup. I mean, those are quarterfinal and round of is not enough. I mean, look at there are some teams who have been who did not even start, who are not even part of the first 3 World Cup, if I'm not mistaken, but they are now doing very well, more than the Super Falcons. So they shouldn't use the problem in the Canadian camp as start jubilating that one of our group opponents they are not doing well. I mean, you'll be surprised that they will come into the game at the World Cup and they'll spank you. What the team is good. So for me, it's just focus on the Super Falcons, focus on their own preparation. Whatever is going on in the Canadian camp, I believe they have what it takes to sort themselves out. I don't think they're going to allow this monetary issue to affect their World Cup chances. Because all eyes on them, they're going to the World Cup with high expectation. So let's just leave it at that. I believe the Super Falcons, whether issue or no issue, they should be good enough to stand their own against the Canadians, and let's just take it from there.
Quickly on the last segment on the show, let's talk about African Player of the Week. Last week, a lot of African players, they did their thing in Europe. And of course, as usual, it was so much fun. Now, look at, we had Mohamed Kudus. He got a Man of the Match award and he scored a stunner in Ajax's victory over Werwijk. I think, he got Man of the Match. Now, Nigeria's Kelechi Iheanacho, he scored a goal. And he, of course, he also got another assist in Leicester City's 4-1 win over Tottenham. And that was his 5th consecutive. It was his fifth goal involvement in 2 weeks. Remember, against Aston Villa about 2 weeks ago, he got a goal and 2 assists. Then, of course, we have Victor Osimhen, who is probably the most informed African player in Europe right now. He also got a 17th goal of the season in Napoli's victory, 3-0 victory over Cremonese. So, James, who would be your man of the week, African player of the week for Nigeria Super Fans Forum?
For me, I think I'll go with Kelechi Iheanacho because there was a time people were like shouting, "Why is it that he has not been playing and he has just
Sorry, Jim,
been
just to mention, United also got an assist. He bagged an assist over the weekend.
okay. Good one for him. And like I said, Iheanacho for me, we nick it for me. I think Kudus will run him very close, but I think Iheanacho has kind of been consistent for some time now. We used to do it in the. I think they call him Mr. FA Cup because of his impressive run. So I think he has now carried it into the league. He scored in back-to-back league games. And the victory against Spurs, he was a key player. He had an assist and he scored a goal. So he has been, I think he has picked up, and he's now left for the coach to have that confidence in him, because you can't have such player and you keep benching him. Such a player needs consistent run of games. They are the type of player that once you drop them, before they will peak, it will take some time. But when they have that consistent run, so for me, Iheanacho for me would be my player of the week. And coming very close to him would be Mohamed Kudus, who scored and also won the Man of the Match award. Remember, Iheanacho was picked as Man of the Match, and I think Iheanacho just nicked it for me in this for the Player of the Week. And I just hope that our players continue to do well, because, like I said, the AFCON qualifier is just around the corner. And what better way to have your players banging in goals in top European clubs, so that by the time they come back for the qualifiers, I mean, that you have players who have what it takes to do the business.
Okay, James. So in closing, of course, the UEFA Champions League resumes today, and of course, we're seeing the number of African players are playing in Europe. Of course, we'll see Achraf Hakimi with PSG. PSG, they have a titanic battle against Bayern Munich, and also be seeing also Victor Osimhen for Napoli. Unfortunately, we won't be seeing Mohamed Kudus. I would have loved to see Kudus in the Champions League, but unfortunately, we knew how it ended for Ajax, because they failed to even get a single point in either the group stages. Unfortunately, time is not our friend anytime we come around to talk football, and we have to leave it here today. James Agberebi, thank you for coming on the show today.
Yeah, thank you, Femi. Always a pleasure, and look forward to the next edition.
Okay, so fans around the world, we appreciate you for sticking with us, and of course, we appreciate you so much. We do not take it for granted. So if you do not get our videos yet, please click on that notification button, and of course, the video will drop into your phone or your device as soon as they are posted. Today is the day of love. James, how are you spending your Valentine? Before I let you go, how are you spending your Valentine?
I'm spending on low key. I'm at home.
It's the Champions League day.
I've managed to send Valentine message to friends and close associates. So let's just.
I didn't get anything from you, James. I didn't get anything from you. You can't deny that on record. I didn't get anything from you.
The day is still young, so maybe before the day ends, you get something from me.
I see. Okay, so viewers around the world, we wish you so much fun and so much love today, but we have to do it responsibly. Like I said, the UEFA Champions League resumed today. So while a lot of people are enjoying themselves at one spot, well, you can just go to a viewing center, a match viewing center, and of course have for yourself a very memorable Valentine's Day celebration. So until we come around the next time, I remain Ashalulu Afemi. James Agberebi was also here. So bye for now.